Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's recipe is a delicious, soft and flaky dhalpuri roti, which is roti stuffed with seasoned split peas and cooked over a tower. Today I managed to get my mother-in-law Mona in the kitchen to show us how she makes this delicious roti, which she has mastered for many years. And by the way, seriously guys, it is the best dhalpuri roti I have ever had. I know the video is a bit lengthy, but if you are one like me who struggles to make roti, then this comprehensive video will give you a step-by-step guide for making a great roti if you follow her instructions and techniques. And with a little bit or maybe a lot of practice, you may become that professional roti maker you always wanted to be. Oh, and I have divided the video into different steps, so you just have to click the blue timestamps below if you need to easily find a section. So let's get started.
Boiling the dal.
When making dhalpuri, use the yellow split peas. Wash it a few times under running water until the water runs clear. Today we are using a little over 1 pound of split peas. And depending on how much roti you're making, this will obviously vary. Just to make mention here, in this dhalpuri recipe, we used 10 cups of flour, which yielded 15 rotis. Okay, so now once you have cleaned and washed out your split peas, we are now going to add it to some water and bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, lower the heat to about a medium-high, like 7.0, and cook for about an hour uncovered. Now you don't want the dal too hard, neither too soft. To test when it is perfect for grinding and when it's finished, take a split pea out of the pot, place on a flat surface and press down to flatten and spread outward in one direction. If there is a small white center, that is the consistency that we are looking for. Once the dal is finished, strain and set aside to cool.
Now we are going to make the dough for our dhalpuri.
Okay, so to 10 cups of flour, add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of white sugar, 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. For every 3 cups of flour, use 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Don't be afraid to go in there and feel the flour to get an idea of weight and texture and consistency. And now she's just adding the baking powder to the flour. Once you've added the baking powder, go in with your fingers again and mix everything thoroughly. Spend 1 or 2 minutes fluffing the flour from the bottom up. Mona says she likes to do this as she gets to give it a good mix, as well as continue to get a feel of the weight and texture of the flour mixture. Doing this also makes the flour mixture a bit fluffier and easier to work with.
So when you put in the baking powder, before the flour fluffy, let it fluffy all the time.
In the meantime, get your warm water ready, whether it's from a pot, kettle or tap. Now add about 1.5 tablespoons of oil, whether it's vegetable oil or olive oil. Using your hands again, try to incorporate all the oil into the flour mixture and take about 30 seconds to a minute to do so. Now using the same technique, fluff the flour mixture from the bottom up, because next we are going to add the water, and once the water is added, we are going to knead it. Now it's time to add our warm water. To know the right temperature, you should be able to put your finger or hand in it without getting burned. So not too hot, but you don't want it too cold either.
I don't know that everybody knows this, but you can send hot water and anytime you mix in flour, it will bring all the sweetness of the flour. Hot or warm? That's where your hand gets good.
I would advise you add water bit by bit, adding some to dry flour, mixing and continuing like that. If you are kneading or mixing a lot of flour, divide it between 2 bowls as we are doing, so that you can properly mix the water with the dry flour. Continue this process until all the dried flour is mixed with water. Remember adding the water bit by bit. Do not add water all at once, as this may turn out too soggy, and then you will have to add more and more flour at the end. You want the dough to be just moist and manageable and not too wet and sticky. If you had separated the dough mixture, now you can go ahead and add all the dough back to the bowl and start kneading all together. If you start kneading the dough and you feel it needs a bit of flour if it is too wet, or a bit of water if it is too dry, feel free to adjust. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to play some music while you watch along or you cook along with us. Kneading of the dough should take 8 minutes in all. So we are going to be kneading the dough until it pulls away from the side of the bowl and until it is very smooth. When finished, we're going to cover with a damp cloth and let rest. I am going to leave the rest of this kneading of the dough mostly unedited, just so that you can see the timing as well as the techniques. The final consistency must be between sada roti and paratha roti. That was just a FYI for those of you who are accustomed making roti. So here we go. Go ahead and knead your dough with us for the next 7 to 8 minutes, or feel free to skip over this part. Sorry to interrupt the lovely music, but just to make mention, at this point, as you can see, you can knead the dough any which way that you like. If you want to call it pulling and pushing, or punching, or grab and squeeze, you can use any one of these techniques, or even all of them. This one here is the grab and squeeze. We're almost at the end, guys. We're almost finished kneading. As you can see, it's pulling away nicely from the sides of the bowl. Right, that means it's getting smoother. And that's texture or the consistency that we are looking for. Just a few more minutes just to get that really smooth and finished dough. As soon as the shagginess comes out, or if the dough appears much smoother and you want to take it out of the bowl and knead it on the counter, you're free to do so if you're more comfortable doing it this way, or if not, just continue kneading it in the bowl.
Get smooth.
By now the dough should be very smooth, so we're just going to knead for about 1 to 2 more minutes, and then we are going to cover and let rest. I know your hands may need a massage after all this kneading, but don't worry guys, we are almost there.
So there's no problem to use your both hands. Do it like so. Your both hands. One hand not strong enough to mix the flour.
So how do you know when it's finished? You say when the bowl is clean.
When the bowl is clean, you know it mix good, it have a good texture. And when you mix it and it's smooth like this on top here, so it's smooth and it's shaggy. And the flour ready, good, done mix. So it's ready to go and rest the soak. You can soak that about for half an hour.
After you have finished kneading, cover the dough with a clean, damp kitchen towel, cloth or paper towel and leave to rest for at least 30 minutes. We want to make sure our cloth is damp so a crust is not formed on the surface.
Now we are going to grind the dal.
So we use the traditional dal grinder or corn mill as it is officially known. If you have one, great. But if not, then I suppose a food processor could work and you can blend the seasonings with it. If using the food processor, then the dal cannot be boiled too soft or else it will not grind properly. Once you have set it up, place a wide bowl under it. This is so that you'll be able to catch the dal when it's falling. We use a little over a pound of boiled dal.
Well, the dal boil a little softer than usual because it will, when it go inside the roti, it will keep the roti soft. So when it's soft like that, it's kind of not hard, but it's different to grind because it can go down as fast as it should. You got to help it to go down. In between, when you're grinding the dal, you need to put the seasoning to get mixed up as it grind on the go. And that is about a little more than a pound of dal. 5 clover garlic, about 7 leaf CHADON BENI, and a little piece of celery, and 2 scythe and 3 pimentos.
Can you use a food processor to do this?
Yes.
So come on, you say?
Yes.
So then why go through all this trouble?
Yeah, like the food processor, you can't put too much. You have to put a little bit in the food processor, and you have to have a spoon keep turning it in the walls of the container. Keep pushing it down so all will go down and get grind. get small.
So now we add in some ground jeera.
And you know how much you put, right? So
One
that's
and a
enough.
half a tablespoon.
Yeah.
And salt to taste.
Salt to taste.
That's about
That's about less than a tablespoon. Oh, and if it want to adjust, then you will adjust it. And you have to take your hand to turn it, because a spoon wouldn't do the job. Oh, the dal is so smooth and soft. Feel the consistency of the dal. You feel it?
Mm-hmm.
Take it in.
Yeah, it's smooth.
Yeah. When you put that in the roti, it's going to stick.
And it's not too wet.
And it's not too wet, right?
It feels actually like silky.
Yeah. That's why you have to boil the dal.
And now if you're not leaving this to use right away, you could either refrigerate for about a week or freeze for about a month.
A month. And we're not going to fry this dal.
Oh, we don't fry it?
No, when you fry the dal, to me it takes away the taste.
But a lot of people do.
Yes. But if they want to do it, they could do it fried if they want. Anybody wants to fry, they could fry it, but I don't. I never do it. Too much of cooking for it. You don't boil it.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to patch it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to cook it in the roti. So much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure everywhere get the seasonings. And you'll find it have little lumps here and there if you notice.
Mm-hmm.
Get to those little lumps, break them up. Okay, so this is the final product here.
So what do you do? You cover it?
Cover it and leave it until I'm ready to make those balls there, and then let the balls soak for about 15-20 minutes, and then I will fill it.
Now let's get back to the dough, which has been resting for 30 minutes.
Okay.
It's bouncing back, right? It's sort of bouncing back.
Not really.
Yeah.
Oh. And how long you leave it to rest for? Once you need it?
How long I take to grind it? About half an hour. Let's say 45 minutes. This going half an hour to 45 minutes.
Half an hour to 45 minutes.
Yes.
Again?
I'm going to make a loy, make all the balls, and let the balls rest for about 15-20 minutes, and then fill it.
And once you fill it, you could cook it?
You could cook it in 20 minutes, but longer you leave it to rest with the dal in there, softer your roti will be, and you will get a better roti anyway.
Okay. So after the dough rested for about 30 to 45 minutes, we are now going to form into smaller balls or loys. And depending on the size of the roti that you're going to make and the size of your tower, that's going to determine the size of your bowl. Our tower, by the way, was 33 centimeters or 13.5 inches wide.
Yeah. See that? Yeah. Your mold's too big, do that?
Just to mention at this point, we got about 15 dough balls from 10 cups of flour. So pay special attention to the hand technique, guys. This is how you get uniform loys or balls.
What's small?
That's the measured one time in your hand.
No, that's not how we'll do this when we get finished. Okay, we will take out some from here, adjust.
How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So we used 10 cups of flour and about 1 pound of split peas to make 15 dough balls in all. This was using a tower about 13.5 inches wide. If your tower is bigger than this and you want to make your rotis bigger, you may end up with less rotis. Remember, even if you make extra rotis, you can always freeze them for later use. So basically, you want to tuck it in.
Yeah. One feels big. close it up like so. I think the roti too big for the tower. No, yeah, so I don't know. I think we should get 1580 here. I will cut down on everything.
Oh, that's the size you want?
I feel so. So when I take out from a few here, I will get one more roti.
Okay, so that's 15 in all.
Yeah, yeah.
So we did in fact get 15 smaller dough balls. Once we roll it into balls, how long we have to leave it?
For like 15 to 20 minutes and then I will fold it. That's it.
So we cover back with the damp cloth.
Yep. Anytime a flour soak, it is easier to work with in whatever you're doing with it.
Whether it's bread, roti.
Anything.
Okay.
Anything.
Fill in the dough balls.
Okay, so we opening this. You could say that we opening this to put the
You do your
peas.
thing. I will adjust.
To put the peas in there. Make another like a little bowl in your hand, the palm of your hand, have it like this. Then you take some dry
So
flour.
on the center you say a little
Has
thicker.
to be a little body, a little thicker. You put dry flour in here. And the reason for this dry flour in here, most people don't do it. If you don't want to do it, there are problems. But when you put this flour in here, is when you're putting this piece in here. It will move around in the roti when you're baling it.
Oh.
And then it,
Hold on, this is the part I want to the folding. Okay.
so the underneath part will stick here when you're pulling like this. It will come up and it won't break the edges.
And give it a roll.
You roll it in your hand. So you move around the dal.
Okay. Okay, we'll watch one more time.
The bowl,
Flip.
the flour.
Add your flour. So it should be about the palm of your hand.
Yeah. It depends on the size though, eh?
Or the size of roti you're making.
Yeah, sometimes you're making a bigger roti, a bit for a bigger tower. So this roti is to accommodate the tower we have, this load. And then you come and you do like this. Bring together, have it like this. And then you pinch it. You pinch it. You go down with that.
Tuck that in and give it a roll.
Then roll it.
Okay, cool.
That's what I should
And
do.
then once you're all done with this, how long you leave it to rest?
You could leave it for half an hour. You could leave it for less, 20 minutes, but the longer you leave it, the quicker when you're rolling it out, it is roll out better with no fuss
And it's softer?
And it's softer.
Okay.
Fill it in the stuffed dough balls.
Put a little dry flour there. You take your hand, you press it in the center to move the dal around in the roti. Right, that's helping the dal to go all over the place. The roti.
So start from the center and move outward.
Yes, yes. And then you keep doing it like this. So it will be easier for you to belay and all. Yeah. Good.
And keep flour in it.
Yeah.
Stick it.
So you don't want to stick to the surface. Otherwise, if it stick, it will break the roti. That's it. It's roti. See?
Finally, let's cook the roti.
So very importantly, once you've belayed or rolled out your roti, place on a hot towel. Make sure before you start cooking, you have a bowl of vegetable oil and a towel, brush or paper towel to sap oil onto the surface of the roti. So that's just oil.
This is just oil. But if you anybody want to put butter, anything they feel they want to put on the rotis, good for them.
So after about what, 5-10 seconds it's flip, right?
Yeah, and then oil again. Very good.
Yeah.
This will be dabla.
The only reason we're using a knife is because how you call it? What you call that?
Dabla. I cannot use this dabla.
The dabbler kind of broken right now.
Yeah. Good.
Dough in the roti.
So when you put it in this, do you you could leave it open or you should cover it?
If you leave it open, that's not when you're finished cooking, you could cover it. If you want to cover it when you're cooking, cover it. Your choice.
And this is soft and nice.
Right, okay. So this is the roti. We just made it soft. And
You wanna break it?
we're going to break it now and show you the inside.
Nice.
See?
You can see the layers.
Yeah. So that is it.
So we're just folding it. So what? So if you wanna freeze it, you can freeze
Yes,
it. How long
yes.
you will keep in the freezer?
This will stay in the freezer for about a month.
1 month.
Yeah. So there they have it for the roti.
To defrost a frozen roti, wrap in a clean damp kitchen towel and microwave for about 2 minutes. Just a little tip for you guys when freezing the rotis.
When it's hot, it is full better and manageable. But when it get cold,
It might break.
yeah, it will be a little more harder now. And even when you're serving, you know, you just pick up one and you serve. Even the one would get more a little clips, it's still so soft. Roti come out good, right?
Yep. You guys, this roti is so soft and tasty. You have to try it.
And that's it.
You guys, I just need to take another moment to show you how indeed soft, thin and flaky this roti is. Follow this recipe to the T and you'll get the same results. Her roti has never failed and is extremely delicious. Seriously guys, it's the best I've ever had and I've tried a lot of rotis out there. Everyone who tries this roti always says the same thing too. So now go ahead and enjoy with some curry aloo and whatever tal curry or meat that you like and some nice pepper salt. Well, hope this video was helpful, and please do try it and let me know how it was. Also, if you want to see how I cook my other dal curries like pumpkin, bodhi, okra, etc. and meats like curry chicken or curry goat or curry shrimp to pair with this roti, check out the links at the end or see the description box down below. And if this video was helpful and you want to join the Trini Can Cook family, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you are notified at once when I post new videos. So until next time, take care and see you soon. Bye guys.